I think one of the challenges that moms and dads have is wanting to treat their children exactly the same and feeling like if they don't treat their children exactly the same, they're not being fair and they're favoring one over the other. But what I think is important to know is that children are different, and so you're going to treat them differently. So strategies that work with one child may not work with another, and getting over sort of the discomfort and guilt about treating children differently will help a lot in how you engage with them. So I think that's one piece for parents. I think that the other piece is when sort of not taking sides, and so if there's some sort of conflict, instead of saying you do this to one child and you do that, or punishing one child over the other, having them sit down and as the parent facilitating a conversation and facilitating a solution for whatever the problem is really helpful. I think you can even do that with kids who are toddlers. I think you have to do a little bit more facilitation, like coming up with ideas. And so I want to play with the toy and he wants to play with the toy, and they had a fight over that toy. And so as a parent, what you can do is say, sit down, we're going to come up with a plan of how we're gonna fix this. And so move the toy sort of out of the way and say, okay, well, what's the plan? And give options initially. So you'll say, well, Matthew, you can play with the toy for 2 minutes, and then it'll be Jill's turn and she can play with the toy for 2 minutes. Or you can come up with a solution of how to play with the toy together, and have them choose which one works for them. And if they can't come up with a solution, then you need to say, okay, well, we'll put the toy away until you can come up with some sort of solution. So having the parents facilitate problem solving and not always getting in the middle of things, I think is really helpful for the kids to, one, feel empowered, and to two, feel like one child doesn't get favoritism over the other. I think that having some time for the children just to play together is really good, just giving them their own space. I think it's really important that parents take time, of course, as a family with all of their children together, but also having 15 or 20 minutes with each child by themselves if you can. I know that the schedules are really hectic, but that's really important for making children feel like things are fair, and that there's parity.